Welcome everyone to another Friday class. I am so excited to have you here. It is August 16th, and today we have a very special guest speaker, one of my friends who lives on the East Coast. Brittany is going to be talking to us about sleep. And so we're going to kick it off today with a poll that I have. And I am going to launch that right now. There are three questions. This is to give us a little bit. Let's see if I can make this work. Somebody tell me that you can see that. I already launched it. Can you see
Yeah.
it? I got a thumbs
See?
up. Great.
Yep.
So there's three questions. If you could just take a few seconds to answer those so that we can get a feel for the group. Most of us are oil users here, but this also helps me practice some of the new cool features on Zoom. In the future, we're going to be using the breakout room, the whiteboard, and we're going to play some games, kind of trying to make our Friday continuing education classes a little bit more fun, peppy, and different, right? So awesome. If you have taken that poll, do you have problems getting a good night's sleep? Everybody says sometimes, right? Life happens. It's always stressful. Number two, have you ever tried the Serenity Sleep products? Is that showing on your guys' screen?
It's showing, but I can't click the option to answer.
Okay, well, most of us here probably have tried it, right? But I promise that you're going to learn something new today. Number three is, do you know what sleep hygiene is? Most of us have heard about that. Well, it is a set of habits and environmental practices that can help people to sleep better. And Brittany is going to talk about all of that kind of information with us today so that we could improve our sleep, right? So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say. I'm ready with paper and pen. Take it away, Brittany.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here and talking or being here so you can listen to this. And I want it to be interactive though. So if you have questions, just throw them in the chat. Feel free to, ask away. But we have some great information to share with you tonight, all about sleep. I know I love my sleep and it's something I kind of look forward to every day is getting in my nice cozy bed. So hopefully you guys are getting the good sleep that you need. But if you're not, then this is going to be a great class to help you as well, help you even make some improvement, even if you feel like you're getting good sleep now. So I am going to share my screen with you. Give me just a sec to pull it up. And okay,
Hey,
hopefully does
Brittany,
it show okay? Yes.
I am going to mute myself and I'm going to start conversing in the chat. So y'all just join me there and drop any questions and we will try to answer them and then circle back around if they haven't gotten answered by her presentation or anybody else on here. Okay?
Perfect. Sounds good. Can everybody see the slides? Okay. My notes are not in your way, right? You don't see them. Perfect. Okay, so tonight we're going to go over sleep essentials and finding some natural solutions to help you get some of the best sleep of your life. We're going to start with something that most of you have probably seen. This is our doTERRA Wellness Pyramid. And so what this is basically foundational health principles that build on top of each other, kind of like building blocks. If we take out the bottom pieces, everything else topples down. So as you see on the bottom, nutrition, digestion, followed by movement and metabolism. And then on top of that is the rest and manage stress. That's where we're going to stick tonight, is that rest and manage stress portion. But throughout your journey with doTERRA, you're going to be in a lot of different classes, and you're going to see that we focus on different areas of this wellness pyramid in each class. So make sure that you hop on to other continuing education classes to grab some things about nutrition, digestion, movement, and metabolism as well. And so what we do at doTERRA is we make sure that we are all about proactive, natural ways of addressing root concerns. We are not about the temporary or the superficial solutions because they're just not enough. So the lifestyle choices that you make each and every day are going to be a foundation of your wellness. And of course, our body is usually the reflection of those choices. So doTERRA has created a very easy to follow wellness path and different products to support you at any point in that wellness journey. So again, today we're going to focus on that third piece, rest and manage stress. So 3 needs for sleep. if you want to be healthy, you have 3 jobs every day. They are to eat well, move your body, and sleep. Now, out of those, sleep should be the easiest, right? Well, it should be, but there are a lot of people that struggle with sleep, whether that stems from just not getting enough, or from having trouble falling asleep, or even feeling restless or constantly waking up during the night. And of course, with the hectic schedules that we all tend to have these days, it's no wonder that we struggle with sleep. We find ourselves rushing from here to there, picking up kids, different appointments, different Zoom calls. You're sitting here sometimes for hours during the day looking at these screens, and we're just trying to fit everything into our very, very busy schedules. So then, when it comes time to rest, we have a hard time winding down. Now, good sleep is one of the most essential elements of a healthy lifestyle. Unfortunately, it's also one of the most undervalued parts of our modern schedules. So it's all too easy right now to sacrifice sleep to do other things. Maybe you're like, oh, I wanted to stay up, spend some extra time with my spouse, watching movies or playing with the kids or whatever it is. And we get so busy that we don't want to make time for sleep. And you might even think to yourself, well, so what if I sacrifice a little bit of sleep to other areas of my life? I might feel sleepy the next day, but there's so much to do and so much to accomplish instead of sleeping a little bit longer. So it might seem like a lot if we're spending actually a third of our life asleep. But the consequences of cutting that time short are a lot more significant than just feeling a little bit groggy or tired the next day. It's actually linked to several different health challenges. So, research has shown that the time that you spend sleeping is crucial to your brain function, your emotional well being, and other vital health areas. Because while we're asleep, our body is actually hard at work. It is rebuilding, it's repairing, it's mending blood vessels and balancing hormones and maintaining or even boosting our immune system. So, your brain is there processing all the events of the day and preparing itself for another day of learning. If we cut that process short, our body can't properly recuperate, which is going to cause problems in the long run. It's even going to impact your cells and how they are adhering to a normal cell life cycle. So, if we're not getting enough sleep chronically, then we're going to be raising our risk for health issues. It's also going to affect how we are reacting to things, how well we get along with other people. If we're too tired, we might be grumpy and moody and snap at people, right? I know we've all probably done that before, but we need to make sure that we're prioritizing our sleep. I thought this point was interesting in doing some of the research for this class. That research suggests that one night, just one night of 4 hours of sleep will result in a 70% reduction in your natural killer cells, which are an important cell line in your immune system. So, all it takes is one really bad night of sleep, and your immune function drops significantly. Now, the good news is that because sleep has such a broad, comprehensive impact on your health, by getting enough rest and good quality rest, that now we can actually improve in all those areas that we just talked about. So we now know we need to sleep. We see how important it is, but how much sleep do you actually need? Well, this little chart here will give you an approximate idea of different age groups and how much sleep each age group needs. Now, there are some ranges you'll notice here and some overlap between the different age groups. But what you'll notice is that the need for sleep will basically decrease with age. So you've got your newborns there who are needing like 14 to 17 hours a day of sleep. Infants, it goes down a little bit from that. And then your toddlers, 11 to 14 hours, preschoolers, 10 to 13. And so even as adults, though, we're down to about 7 or 8 hours. Now, again, this is just a range. You know your body. I know myself, I feel like I function pretty well on 7 hours of sleep, but I function even better when I have 8 hours of sleep. Some of you might feel like you need more than that. Okay. But I'll tell you right now, nobody only needs 4 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep. We might hear people say that, but it's not true. You definitely need more sleep than that. Let's talk a little bit about sleep hygiene. Mapuana mentioned this at the beginning of the class. What this refers to, if you're not familiar with that phrase, sleep hygiene, it refers to healthy habits, behaviors, and environmental factors that you can adjust in order to assist with your good night's sleep. So think about things like your bedroom environment, your daily routines, things even about your stable sleep schedule, making your bedroom comfortable, free of distractions, having a great bedtime routine. So some sleep problems are caused by bad habits that get reinforced year after year, or even sometimes over decades. So I'll just admit right now, I have a teenage son. He's turning 18 this month. He has the worst sleep hygiene I've probably ever seen. Which I don't know how many, he's my oldest, okay? So I don't know too much about all the other teenagers out there, but he loves to stay up really, really late, sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes later, and then he wants to sleep all day. Well, that just does not work, right? He's got to get up, go to work, have their other responsibilities. So his sleep hygiene has been reinforced though over years. I thought that I could fix this when he was real little, and he's just kind of stubborn. So he hasn't really done much with it over all of these years. So we don't want to do that. We want to fix it. We see there's a problem. Let's make some adjustments. So as we go through these sleep hygiene suggestions, I want you to think about your own situation, what's going to be useful to you, and what you can tailor to your unique needs. And of course, the goal is to make it easier to sleep soundly throughout the night and wake up feeling rested. So the first step in our sleep hygiene is to be consistent. We need to follow a consistent sleep schedule. If we are varying our bedtime or our morning wake up time, this can actually hinder our body's ability to adjust to a stable circadian rhythm. So one study suggested that inconsistent sleep, where you go to bed at a different time and you wake up at different times every day, is going to disturb the body's process of regulating inflammation during your sleep. So if that means, that you're sitting here, well, how am I going to force myself to go to sleep at exactly the same time every single day? Don't worry. We're just going to look for like that rough window of time. And if you start getting ready for bed at the same time each night, you'll probably start to get into a natural rhythm and fall asleep reasonably within that same amount of time. Now, if you're thinking about weekends, maybe you're like, oh, well, I like to sleep in on the weekends or on my days off. That might sound fun, but if your weekend wake up time is drastically different than the time that you wake up every other day, it's going to throw off your body's circadian rhythm. So once you get into that habit though of every day going to sleep around the same time and getting up around the same time, even just an extra 15 or 30 minutes on the weekend is going to feel like a lot longer than it actually is. And that's not going to mess you up too much. We just don't want to go to an extreme where we're sleeping like several more hours than we typically would. Another thing we want to be consistent here with is our nighttime routine or our nighttime ritual. Consider listening to maybe some soothing music, doing some light stretching, journaling. Some people like to take a warm shower or a bath. Maybe you like to do maybe some like personal spiritual study at night. You can do that as well. You can also do some reading, but here's a little caveat to that. We want to make sure that we're not reading on an electronic device. We want actual books. So get some books out. If you're going to journal, again, we're doing that in paper and pen, not on an electronic device, because that artificial light it's just going to mess us up. Okay. We're messing up those rhythms. So we want a lamp that has a low warm light and that physical book that we talked about. And then, of course, in this class, we're going to tell you also to make sure that you are diffusing your essential oils or even putting them on a nice little massage with your oils at bedtime and being consistent to do this each and every night. So you're getting into that really good bedtime routine. Up next is your sleep environment. Your bedroom setting absolutely affects your sleep quality. So we want to think about the lighting, the sound, and the temperature. You want to lower, Jason, sorry, dog bark. You want to lower the temperature in your home so that it is cooler at night than it is during the day. If you have lights in your bedroom that are twinkling or blinking, you want to take a piece of electrical tape and cover them up because we do not want all those things going on in our room. Now, when it comes to sound, some people enjoy some white noise. So maybe they have a fan or even an app on their phone that'll play some white noise for them. But every person is a little different. So figure out what's going to work best for you there. And then also think about your bedding. Now, if you're on a budget or not, your bedding is actually something that it is worth investing in. Remember, we talked about you're spending a third of your life sleeping, right? So we want to make sure that we've invested in a really good mattress, really good, comfortable, breathable sheets, a good pillow. Don't go cheap on your bedding. Okay, this is permission for you guys to go out there and get new bedding. Okay. Hopefully my husband's going to get the dog to be quiet. He's going out there to fix that. Okay, we talked about this a little bit. Exposure to natural light is actually going to reinforce our circadian cue. So at nighttime, we need to limit the light, and our artificial light exposure can be messing up our circadian rhythms. So the experts are advising us to dim lights, to dim your lights in the evening and put down your electronic devices before bed. I know that's a hard one, but that is going to give you the best quality sleep. During the day, we want to move our body, right? Activity during the day is going to support that internal clock, and it's going to help us to fall asleep easier at night. Now, if you want to work out during the day, that's great. Again, just one little warning, we don't want to do heavy exercise too close to our bedtime. So if you want to do some light walking, some general movement, stretching, things like that, absolutely totally fine. But don't do, like Insanity or P90X right before bedtime. We got to like tone it down a little bit so that we're not pushing back our body's clock and making it think it's still time to be awake when it's time to go to sleep. Limit stimulants. All right, I don't want to step on any toes with this one because I love my coffee just as much as anybody else does. But most of us, most adults are consuming coffee throughout the day. Now, some of us might feel like we're relying on it to actually enhance our mood and optimize our performance during the day. Now, it is a tool that a lot of us will use in the morning to help us wake up. There are some better tools that you can use. But here's their warning is that we don't want our stimulants to affect our sleep at night. So you need to be careful if you're having caffeine later in the day. So typically we want to suggest to limit or reduce or totally eliminate caffeine after noon. So you want caffeine in the morning, fine, but later in the afternoon or even anytime after 12, start limiting it or even just cutting it out so that it's not going to stop us from sleeping. Another thing to avoid before bed are heavy meals and spicy foods. If we eat too late or something too heavy, we're going to have some digestive upset. We're going to have heartburn, discomfort in our stomach, and then, of course, that's going to make it difficult to sleep. Okay, so now we've learned all the things why sleep is so foundational to our health. We learned how much we need, and we have some basic sleep hygiene practices that I want you to start implementing tonight. But now it's time to talk about some natural sleep solutions. Now, many of our essential oils are going to provide a very relaxing, calming environment that will help you to sleep. So think of things that are soft and floral. So maybe things like lavender or Roman chamomile, or maybe things that are very grounding and centering to you, like cedarwood or sandalwood. I'm obsessed with Shinrin Yoku. It's one of my absolute favorites. Quite a few on my team actually love to mix the Shinrin Yoku with the Serenity oil, which is what we're going to talk about next. So you can get single oils, right? Lavender, Roman chamomile, sandalwood, but sometimes a blend of oils is going to work even better. And we love the blend of Serenity. So you can see some of the ingredients up here. We've got lavender and cedarwood, and you got your Roman chamomile and your vetiver. You've got the vanilla absolute. It just creates such a calming, relaxing atmosphere. It just is so tranquil. I absolutely love Serenity. I didn't think I would. I am not a huge lavender fan. Don't really love lavender. But somehow I am like, I love Serenity. I start to crave it. So I have it next to my bed, and I want to have that in my diffuser each and every night because I absolutely enjoy it. Now, this is an oil you can use topically, or you can use it in your diffuser as well. So what you can do, just a couple of ideas of how you might want to use it, is of course diffusing it. That's a simple method. Put a few drops in your diffuser next to your bed or in your bedroom. Some people actually like to do this even throughout the house in the evening hours. So it just kind of gets everybody in the house calmed and relaxed. I usually just have it in my bedroom, but you can choose whichever way works best for you and your family. You can also do 1 or 2 drops in the palms of your hands, rub your hands together, and then just do some nice inhales through your nose with a few slow, steady breaths. In our family, we also like to even put this on the bottoms of our feet. I put a bit on my chest. Whatever's left on my hands, I'll even brush across my pillow. It is just such a wonderful, relaxing aroma. You can even do a nice little neck massage with it if you'd like. Use it all the different ways, both topically and aromatically. So that's step 1 in your Serenity sleep system. Is the first thing is our Serenity blend. The next one is our Serenity Restful Complex Soft Gels. So this is going to help you sleep so good. I've never actually experienced anything that knocks me out like like this does. It's so good. Just to make sure you know, the Serenity oil is different than the Serenity soft gels. The Serenity oil actually has some plants in there that we are not going to ingest. So it is not meant for internal use. So I don't want you to go and stick it in veggie caps and think it's going to be the same as the soft gel, because it is different. But this one does have some of the oils that are in it, but it also has other things in it. It has lemon balm and passion flower, chamomile and L-theanine, and tart cherry. So I love that because these are things that are going to help your body to naturally produce melatonin. Now, why that is so important is because if you're taking a synthetic melatonin supplement, then you tend to feel really groggy and gross the next day. Sometimes it doesn't work after a few days. It's just not great. But when you have your body do what it needs to do, then it just works so much better. So you can wake up feeling more rested. You're not going to feel like you've just been drugged up with something. Okay. So that's what I love about that L-theanine and the tart cherry that are part of this. I think that covers basically all of that. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so that's step 2 is your Serenity soft gel. Step 3, this is the newest addition to the Serenity sleep system, and this is our Serenity stick with valerian. This is such a great and convenient way to apply it topically, and it makes your skin feel really good, and it's not greasy. So you put this on, you're not going to feel gross. You're not even really going to notice it, but you will notice the aroma that it has. It does have valerian in it, and that is going to be a great impact to your brain health and to your body. It also enhances the effectiveness of the Serenity blend that is in the stick already. So it's going to make the overall results of the system more powerful and more soothing for you. So there they are. Those are your 3 things. Okay. So your first step, we have our Serenity blend in the oil itself. Second, we have the stick. And the third, we have the soft gels. So I'll tell you how I personally use them. but it's your system. So you can, change it up however you like. What I like to do is when I walk into my bedroom in the evening, I go ahead and get my diffuser going with my Serenity oil. Okay, so I put about 3 drops because I find that oil is pretty strong. I don't need to go overboard. So I usually do about 3 to 4 drops in my diffuser. And then I go into the bathroom and I do all my stuff, brush my teeth, wash my face, do my gua sha, and all the little things that I do in the evening. Okay. And then I come, once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and take my Serenity Soft Gel. And then when I climb into bed, that's when I'm going to use my Serenity Stick. Okay. Now, some people find that maybe they need to take the Serenity Soft Gel about 30 minutes or so before bed. I find it works really well for me within just a few minutes. So I don't feel like I need to take it well in advance. And then if you happen to get up in the middle of the night, maybe you had to use the bathroom or something, you can have that Serenity Stick nearby. So you can just put that right back on and it'll help you fall right to sleep. Now, I know this has been a lot of info for you, so we do have a little cheat sheet for you. This is an ebook where you can learn even more about essential oils and sleep. So make sure you guys grab that. I'll give you just a minute. And then I will stop screen sharing and see if there was any questions that we needed to answer, unless you guys have done that. I haven't looked at the chat at all. So hopefully you guys have done that.
I have a question right off the bat. How many soft gels do you use? 1 or 2?
I just use one.
Okay.
One works well for me. But I think a lot of people use 2. It just depends. I don't really have a lot of trouble sleeping. I fall asleep pretty easily. So I don't feel like I need a ton of support, but sometimes when I wake up, I don't feel rested. So that's when I feel like, okay, I'm going to use my Serenity system so that I can get a better quality sleep so that I'm waking up feeling better. Okay. Anybody else have questions?
Melody, are you raising your hand?
Yes, I can't get the recordings on any of the classes I've taken.
Okay.
The little bar.
I will send you my YouTube channel. Okay.
Okay,
Privately on a text message.
alrighty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that was fantastic. Thank you, Brittany. Everybody give her a hand, whether it be virtual or real. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I loved your slides. I had that question about the soft gels, and then just during this presentation, did it hit me that our soft gels are only $23 a bottle, and the whole package is only $66, right? That is so affordable. So incredibly affordable for anyone who is suffering with sleep to try. And the products will last a whole month. Well, the soft gels, if you're taking 2, but you can stretch that out if you could, only take 1, like Brittany. So I love all things Serenity, even if it's to help you just kind of chill out during the day and you're not wanting to go to sleep, but you really want to use Serenity, just, go for it. It's safe to do that, right? Anybody else have any questions or comments, or would like to give us one takeaway that they got from our class? Just go ahead and unmute yourself as I just go through the chat.
I did want to mention really quick, and Wendy stuck it in the chat too. If you do the Serenity system as a whole, it is basically like getting the Serenity Stick for free. So that would be a great value if you're trying to get the whole system together. And then just one more little note on if you're feeling anxious during the day, you might want to try using the adaptive capsules versus the Serenity capsules, just because the Serenity, being that it has the tart cherry in there and we're producing melatonin, it could potentially make you too sleepy throughout the day. So now that's kind of a newer addition to the Serenity soft gels. If you had them from a year or so ago, it wouldn't have had the tart cherry in it. And so a lot of people were using it for anxiety during the day. So you can definitely use the oil if you want. That's totally fine. You could probably even use the stick, but the adaptive capsules would have some lavender and some other things in there that's going to help you to be calm without being sleepy.
Yes, good point. And then Joan dropped it in the chat, and there's 2 drops of lavender in the Serenity soft gels, which is what we need for stress, mental health support. So we have options, right? We have lots and lots of options, and it's exciting to learn more every week about how we can manage our health, help our families, and also help our friends and our communities. So if you were only thinking about yourself during this class, let's expand our mindset and see if we could each find one person to share Serenity with this next week. Okay. Everybody needs this kind of help. Everybody needs doTERRA, Serenity, and a bunch of other oils. So, okay, that's a wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time. Hit us up next week for another interesting class. We're going to just close out with the reminder of convention coming up. Okay, you see it all over Instagram, Facebook, all kinds of social media platforms. It's our annual international convention in Salt Lake City, Utah, September 18th through 21st. Virtual tickets are available, but in person is the best way to experience it. So if you have the opportunity, if you have the chance, if you have the desire, reach out to the person who invited you to this Zoom. We will help you get there in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So thank you everybody for joining again. Watch for this class on my YouTube channel, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.